and I'm excited to bring on two other members here. These two are rock stars. Michael and Shelby, go ahead and come on in. These two are rising stars. I've been really excited to work with them. Hey, you two. How's it going? Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I was just saying, you two are kind of like rising stars, it feels like, in the Central Texas area. You guys have been really awesome. I can always tell which ones are going to be successful, the ones that will blow up my phone and email me and all the messages and just really taking a lot of action. And you two are some of them here. So welcome tonight. Thank you for coming.
Good to be here.
Yeah, great. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your background, why you decided to join Lifestyle?
Well, we actually met at the same law firm that we both worked at, and if anyone here works at a law firm or has ever worked at a law firm, they are pretty tough to work for and not always very fun. So I was planning on going to law school. We were both trying to move out of Louisville, trying to think about where we're going to move. We decided to move to Texas, and we ended up thinking that real estate investing was probably a better idea than law school, because we were doing that because we both wanted to retire early anyway. So
where are you from originally? Where'd you guys come from?
Michael is from Southeast Texas, and I am from Louisville, Kentucky.
All right, you're a transplant as well. That's awesome.
Kind of.
Well, great.
I've been in Austin for a while, so that's one of the reasons we moved here.
Oh yeah,
the
awesome.
question really quick is, since you're from Kentucky, can you play a banjo?
No, you can drink whiskey though.
I can drink whiskey pretty well, and my dad can actually play the banjo. Shout out to my dad if he's watching.
Awesome. I like the banjo.
Yeah, banjo's great.
So that's cool. And so you found Lifestyles, and why did you join? It looks like what your folks actually bought you a membership. So they were members,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents were members quite a while back, and they paid for my membership as a Christmas present, and just kind of went from there.
And that's another reason why we were comfortable joining again after he had been active for a little while, because he had already been through the model and his parents had, and we were already comfortable with the model.
Oh yeah, Michael, you were on the sidelines for a number of years, weren't you? You joined and you didn't really take action, but then you and who was it? Shelby, is she the catalyst, the type A that got you to take some action? Both of you?
Pretty much. That and just, I actually first joined back in 2007, and I ended up buying a total of 5 or 6 different houses, but I moved overseas. And I let my membership lapse because it just became impossible to deal with it from a different country. And so I sold those houses and just sat on the sidelines for several years. And once we got together, it was like, we were both working at the law firm, and it was super stressful. They always are. It's my third law firm, and they're always super stressful. And we finally just figured out, wait a second, the real estate thing, like that's how we could get out of this.
We'd forgotten about it. And then all of a sudden it was like a vision from God, and we knew what we had to do.
Awesome. Yes, great. Yeah. So you guys kind of renewed your membership in 2020, and it was off to the races, right? And you've already gotten 2 of them, 2 single family houses, which is awesome. And tonight we're going to talk about Cherry Tree. So yeah, walk us through it. Tell us a little bit about the property, what you had to do to it.
Well, this was our very first deal. So, we made a few rookie mistakes, but nothing too serious. We ended up with the return we wanted, with the meeting the goals that we went into it with.
We'll say it's pretty forgiving that way.
Yeah. You'll see later in the before and after pictures. There's not really much different. The bulk of this, you can see here. There's really not much different. The bulk of it was the gentleman who lived here died, unfortunately. So his family had to deal with, clearing out the house, and it was primarily demo costs, just getting all that stuff out that they left after the estate sale. There was a hot tub in there that we had to rip out, some carpeting that we had to rip out. Mostly demo and a paint job, and new lights and fixtures and fans.
We were able to keep the original flooring, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, the wood flooring looked great.
Looks like really nice flooring.
Yeah.
And otherwise just a little bit of cleanup, like resurfacing a tub, changing out some toilets, HVAC maintenance, water heater maintenance, but nothing really serious.
Really quick, guys, because there's people listening for the first time, and it sounded like this old house. Like, Shelby, were you out there changing toilets yourself and putting in new flooring like you just said and all that? You said we had to.
You know, I showed up at the property in 5-inch heels, and someone asked me that same question. They said, are you getting down, and are you gonna, get into this project? And I just said, nope, I wear heels, and I don't.
So for the folks who are listening for the first time, we're not here to teach you how to be a contractor. They're investors. You understand? They wrote a check. The only thing you'll get is a blister from a check, correct?
Or a paper cut.
What's that?
Or a paper cut.
Yeah, my point is, folks, is they're lawyers, so they're right. So they have 400-pound briefs, right? So my point is, though, is we're here to buy back our time. They don't have time for that stuff. You have a vendor that's going to do the contracting work and all that for you, just so you understand if you're new. Okay. All right. So.
Ooh, come on in. Stay out. Hey, so let's talk about those numbers, you guys. So what makes you the most excited about this deal?
Well, what we had decided before we even started looking was we just wanted a unicorn deal. We wanted over 100% return on equity, over 10% cash on cash, preferably 25 out of pocket or lower. And those are the only deals we tried to go after. We saw quite a few of them coming through last year during the pandemic, which was surprising at first, in San Antonio. And this was the first one that we were first in line for. We had to make a really quick decision because it was a hard money deal from a wholesaler, but we hit all of our numbers right on.
That is awesome. Yeah, you're 3 for 3. It looks like here, and that's awesome. And look at that. You have what, 32,000 unrealized capital gain, just instant, profit basically on the property, just sitting there waiting for when you sell it. That's awesome.
And that was the most important factor to us, was getting that unrealized capital gain. We would take very little cash flow if we needed to get that capital gain.
So folks, just so you know, if you're new to this, it would be like you investing in the stock. They put in $25,000. They made an extra $32,000 on top of that right away. Instantly. Now that's equity in the deal. They won't get it till they sell it, but they made over 100% return. Now you see how Michael's jumping up and down, excited about that, right? Making 100% return. Is that the most excited you get, Michael? You must be like a defense attorney or something,
Honestly, David, I kind of just peed a little bit.
Whoa.
Okay, so Pete is that's exciting, just a little bit, right? Okay. Cool. Yeah, you check that red stuff. It'll look weird later, but cool. Well, that's what I wanted you to understand, folks. Think of that. So, but not only that, and they said they don't care much about the cash flow because they're younger. They just want to build up that equity. They want to double up a few times. But let's say you're an older person, you need money coming in. What's your cash flow? I told you guys it's when we play Monopoly, between $200 to $600 a month. How much you guys making a month on this one?
$359.
Do you see it?
Yeah, $359.
I just want to make sure somebody besides me is reading the numbers.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's it, and that's $4,300 a year, just so you know. David's an idiot savant, so he could have told you. He could divide that by 0.07 and tell you the number. Those cap rates kind of.
So guys,
we're not even touching that. We're just going into our investment account.
Go right up to your next deal, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
No, think about it, guys. We're making $4,000 a year off of real numbers, 25 grand. That's like buying a bond for 25 grand and making $4,000 a year tax-free. That's a 17% a year return. Or do you have CDs or money market accounts or a bond making 17% tax-free? The answer is no. But this makes money actually 5 ways. We're only showing 2 here. There's 3 other ways, just so you know. Every time that renter's in there paying the rent, they're paying down that mortgage. That's called principal pay down. This house will go up in value every single year. Right now, they're going up about 10%. So on this, I know it's 12. Jody's correcting me another mentor in the road, right? I'm just using a round number of 10%. So if this house worth 200,000, guys, at 10%, it'll go up another 20,000 next year. So it'll be worth like 227. So you think about that. They put out 25 grand. They're gonna make another 20,000 just by going up in value. That's almost another 80 or 90%. And the last way is the tax benefits. I know they're doing it correctly because they came to my seminar to learn how to do it the right way. When done correctly, that 17% a year will be tax-free, defer, defer, defer. And the profits, if they sell it, I'm going to show you a way not to even pay taxes on that because they're good Americans. They want to pay their fair share, which is zero if done correctly, correct? Too fast?
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
Kind of, yeah.
He's getting a little more excited. Mike, not so much.
It actually already went up in value before we refinanced. It was appraised at 185, and when we refinanced, it was at 207.
So as they did the rehab, like I said, it's going up. By the time they went to do the refinance, boom, it already went up in value. So that proves the point. Awesome. Pretty exciting stuff, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. It's really exciting with Shelby. She's going to be taking on, I mean, you're kind of going to be the lead now. More full-time. You're really going to be digging your heels in real estate.
You're going to do this full-time now.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
I've been doing this full-time since September, and that has primarily been, finding properties because it has been more difficult during the pandemic. And yeah, Michael definitely came in with the experience, but he was further along in his career, and I wanted to leave my career and look for something different. So it was
you don't want to be an evil lawyer like Michael. You want to go out there and help people, correct?
Say that again?
You don't want to be an evil lawyer like Michael. You want to go out and help people and do good things, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm joking, Michael. I know you're not an evil lawyer.
Well,
he's actually not a lawyer.
Correct. I'm an IT. So.
Yeah, he's an IT guy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just playing.
With a law firm, though.
It's okay.
Don't be surprised if you get served papers, David.
What's that?
Don't be surprised if you get served papers.
Yeah,
we know.
But this isn't the only property. You bought another one as well, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the contractors that we work with on Cherry Tree, we actually brought on to do a rehab that was 7 to 8 times as large as our first house. So we kind of jumped into something much bigger. Martin Luther King Drive is a house built in 1920, so it's very large rehab, and we're in the middle of it now. But we expect it to look great.
Oh yeah, awesome.
It's more fun. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
This one you're going to cash flow right in those numbers I talked, between 200 to 600 as well. So that's pretty awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys,
yeah.
I guess you're done now. You did 2 houses. We can quit, right?
I mean, we reserve the right to move to the beach and so we can just write poetry, but we don't know when that's going to happen.
So how's this guy's changing your life? How's this going to change your trajectory? What's next?
Well, Shelby already quit her job.
Okay.
So we're much happier already. The stress level of the household has been diminished significantly.
So is the stress down a lot, Shelby? Is the stress down?
The stress is down. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like I worked pretty hard at this already, but just, not having to work for someone else and be controlled makes a huge difference in
Awesome.
both of our mental healths.
Cool. Okay.
Absolutely. I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about what's your end goals? What do you guys see as the future?
Well, we're like it says here, we're hoping to bust into the Austin market as soon as possible. We're also looking for a house to move into as well in Austin. We are considering investing in our first multifamily deal as passive investors very soon, and we're planning on following the natural progression of lifestyles. Hopefully becoming IROs at some point, independent rental owners, and might syndicate a deal at some point. Not really sure. The most important thing is that we follow the model until we have all of our options open and we can choose what we want to do at any time.
Awesome. So I have a question for you. Do you guys live up in Austin right now, or do you live down here in San Antonio?
We do, yeah, and we commute to San Antonio to visit our properties.
So this is a fear question I get all the time from new investors. So I want to ask you guys, you're all the way up there in Austin. It's a couple hours down to San Antonio. The same thing, I have people from California, they'll invest in Texas. It's the same thing whether they do that. How do you get over the fear of investing outside the city that you live in? How do you do that?
Well, for us, it was making sure that we had enough time to visit the property when we could, but that will probably change because we are considering investing out of state. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that the key to overcoming any kind of fear with regards to these investing activities is just keep educating yourself until you know it's a no-brainer. Just keep watching the videos, keep watching the case studies, keep doing the seminars, read books, analyze deals, and eventually you get to a point where you find out that it would be stupid to pass up a deal. And for us, the drawback of being in Austin is that it's just maybe an hour and a half drive one way to get down there, but some people commute an hour each way every day for work in larger cities. So it's just kind of.
Were you at this property every single day watching the people, or you just like once a week would pop in? Just want to know how that works. Once
a week.
Yeah. So it's not a full-time job. We have people doing it from other countries, guys. We have people do it from out of state. It happens all the time. So, and that's why I'm covering it this way, because I want people to know it's really like he said, it's getting over the fear. It would be stupid to pass it up. In other words, you got to take your emotions out of it, your fears, and you look at the numbers. And if he could double his money, it was a smart choice. You understand? That's how he looked at it. So I'm proud of you guys for doing that, and not letting fear hold you back from success, which holds a lot of people. You got over that. You did it. You took action. You can see how excited he is about it, making over 100% return. But it's pretty awesome. And I know you guys are going to do a lot more than this, so it's pretty cool. So I'm going to ask you both, and I want you each to answer this however you want to. And then we're going to take questions from members and stuff too. But what advice would you give? There's new people coming to my seminar for the first time this weekend. Never been to Lifestyle before. What advice would you give to new people, or if one of you wants to answer that, then another question would be, what was the biggest aha moment or something that really, if you remember back when you went to the seminar, what really made you go, wow, we can do this or whatever? What advice would you give new people?
You answer that one first?
Sure. So, like we talked about, I was a member before, and I bought a couple of houses, and then I had to leave Texas. And when I was a member before, I wasn't getting 100% return on my deals, and I wasn't doing hard money deals, and I wasn't buying from wholesalers because I was afraid. So when we started over again, when you go to the seminar and you see Dell talk about this stuff, it always feels so incredible to hear him talk about these unicorn deals that have 100% return or 200% return. And I just decided that's what we're going to do. That's the only thing we're going to do. We're only going to do unicorn deals. And so I think the key point is, like, you just decide what you want out of this, and then you can make it happen. Like the education is there, the connections are there, the agents will bring you whatever deal you want. You just have to call those agents and tell them, hey, this is my name, this is what kind of deal I want. Please put me on your list and help me buy this deal, and they'll do it. That's what this organization is all about. And I didn't even buy into that or understand it at the level when I was first in the business and buying houses as I do now. And the key is just all the decision I made in my own mind that I was going to go after the absolute best deal with the absolute highest return, and I was not going to sell for anything less. And then that's exactly what we've done. So you just have to make the decision and decide what you want, and Lifestyles will help you get it.
There you go. That was great.
And on the flip side, it's also I would also recommend that people not be afraid when something, we've also had a situation where something, actually this deal that we just presented, it fell a little bit short of our criteria, but we just decided to, try and make it work. And, so we had this, serious, kind of intense criteria, but we also had the flexibility to say, actually, let's just try this learning experience. It's not going to go wrong. We're very unlikely to lose money in this instance. So let's just go for it.
Yeah. And remember, real estate's very forgiving. It makes money 5 ways. 1,000 here, 1,000 there isn't going to matter in the big scheme of things when we're making over 100% return. So, you mitigate your risk, you did your education. You have a mentor like Joey, whenever you have a roadblock, you can reach out to him. So I'm sure that's pretty powerful too. So awesome. So is there anybody you want to thank out there or give some shout outs?
Everyone on the list, you know, Joe, we couldn't have done it without Joey.
That's true.
We couldn't have done it without Casey. He's a great agent. Well, we've gone after quite a few different deals with him, and he's actually got us our second deal as well.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done it without the lenders, and our contractor is just incredible. Travis with Blue Light, he's awesome. He's the best contractor I've ever worked with. And even the other guys, our AC guy is super awesome. He's talked about highly by the other contractors, so you know he's good type of thing. So the Lifestyles Network and the team of people is like what makes this possible. It wouldn't be possible without these kind of people.
Yeah, the people that we're working with seem to really be lit up and excited by what we're doing, by what they're doing, which makes us excited about what we're doing. And also shout out and thank you to Michael's parents for, you know, starting this whole journey for us, Helen and Randall, if you're watching.
There you go.
And also to my parents, of course, for, you know, respecting the decisions that we make and being supportive. Colleen and Mike, love you.
Cool. So now you have to do a 20-minute dissertation on posse comitatus. Maybe not. It's okay. That's legal talk. I'll teach you lawyers later. Okay. That's okay. Joey, do you know what that means?
Posse comitatus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay, I'll educate you later. I had to worry about that with drug interdiction and stuff like that, but it's okay. So, moving on, would you guys be willing to answer some questions from the members now?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to bring on superstar Marty. There he is. And if you want to know anything about beach volleyball and a bar, Marty owns one in Dallas. So, Marty, you got some questions for us?
Yeah, we have some good ones. Mark sends the question, how many single family homes did you look at before choosing the ones that you did?
That's a great question.
That was definitely what I spent the bulk of my time doing. So it felt like a lot, maybe a dozen.
Yeah, they run together. I say the rule of thumb is like 10 or 20. You usually are going to analyze 10 or 20. You're probably going to go visit 5 or 10. We definitely, you know, I had to take a long lunch break and drive down to San Antonio on short notice a couple of times during the week, and that can be stressful. But that's how you kind of get first in line. You know, you have to be first in line. To be first in line, you have to get there before somebody else does. You know, we saw some deals where we were third in line. We saw some deals where we were seventh in line. But yeah, you have to churn through some and put in the work to get one. So it surely wasn't the first one we looked at.
And you guys didn't settle. You said, we have a criteria. We want to double our money. So there's probably a lot of them at 20 and 30%, but maybe that's right for somebody else, but wasn't right for you guys, correct?
Yeah, and we definitely, it's also important to say, we are not shy about paying for a licensed home inspection to find out whether a deal is really a good deal. So we paid for some home inspections, you know, $400 a pop for deals that we backed out of, and that's cheap insurance. You know, you're making sure that you're not getting into something you're going to regret later. So that's very important.
Right, and this is stuff I'll teach you in a seminar, how to mitigate our risk, because one of the rules I teach is never lose money. So it's great they understood that and followed. What else, Marty?
I'm going to combine two questions from Jerry and Joe. Do you use a management company, and how did you find your renters, residents?
We do not use a management company. I manage properties, and we do together. And we found our renters. We just followed the advice that that Jody gave. I believe it was her in one of the webinars. So we posted them online. We set up two times for viewings. You know, one weekday evening and one weekend afternoon, and just try to set up those as consistently as possible. And I don't think there was much else to it. Eventually,
well, there were a few different moving pieces. So we basically posted it everywhere we could post it online.
Right.
You know, apartments.com, Zillow, all these different websites, Craigslist, and I
was editing those posts constantly.
Yeah, and we set up a Gmail account for the property, so someone could email the Gmail account and they get a kickback that would have all the property information with a link to a video walkthrough that we have posted on Google Drive.
Oh yeah, the video walkthrough was
one of the awesome stuff. Where'd you learn how to do all that stuff?
From y'all.
Okay. This is what, so you know, if you're new, it sounded like a lot of gobbledygook, but we go through line by line how to do all that in the seminar, just so they know.
Yeah,
that's what's on new so they understand that. So cool.
We
no, that's
really
great.
Videos and just wrote down, this is our plan.
Yeah.
You know, the video walkthrough, the mailbox, the listings, and we just did everything we heard from any lifestyle video.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And that saved us driving to San Antonio a million times a week, because some people don't want to stick to, you know, the schedules that you lay out for them, and they want custom viewing times. So the walkthrough helps.
Yeah, it's about keeping your time. Jody, she's really good. As one of our mentors, you'll meet her later. She automates everything. Everything's online. She doesn't want to meet the people. That's a waste of time. So your time's too valuable, right?
Yeah.
Great point. Marty?
When I was a member, I asked Jody how to post advertisements on Craigslist and stuff, and I still use that template today. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah.
And that's the
template we use then.
Yeah, I shared it with you.
All right, we have another question from Craig. How did you determine the cost of rehabs?
The contractors.
Yeah, we just did the standard, getting 3 bids, and we are, you know, we're only on our second deal, so we're not going to be at a point where we're comfortable sticking with one contractor and not getting 3 bids for a while.
I recommend always doing that. They're good till the day they're not. I always I have my own, you know, guys that work on my properties. I still get outside bids. So I always recommend three bids. And we'll teach you this. We'll teach you about something called the scope of work. That's how we do it. Know exactly what they want done, so they're not walking apples and oranges. But Lifestyle will teach you all that.
Yeah, gotta keep that pencil sharp.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question from both Jerry and Daniel. What do you mean by a unicorn deal?
Unicorn deal is what fits our criteria, and you know, what we want. Unicorn deal in our understanding is the perfect deal. So for us, that's
every metric is perfect. So like, if you want a specific cash on cash return, if you want a specific equity capture, if you want a specific cash out of pocket, if you want a specific XYZ, if you want it to be a single story house with a brick exterior and a 2-car garage, if that's every single thing you want on the list, all the check boxes checked, that's a unicorn deal.
Yeah, they made a narrow box, but they still made it work through persistence. You know, they said, this is what we want. They told the agents, they called them all. Any deal you find like that, let's look at those. They don't want to waste their time with ones that didn't fit their criteria. They matched the deal to themselves. And I love that they did that.
I think the big metrics you said were 10% cash on cash return minimum, 25,000 out of pocket, and 100% unrealized capital gain.
Yep.
Okay, right?
Unicorn deal for us.
Yep. So there you go. Great.
Great. One last question here from Chuck. Did you get your deals through LU Realty, or did you find them on your own?
LU Realty.
For sure.
Yeah, it was extremely helpful.
Casey Claus is one of our agents on LU Realty. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Not to be confused with Santa Claus. He's a different guy. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on and helping us out. You know, you inspired some of the new members. Okay, so great job, guys. And I'm sure I'll see you in the future when you buy your first apartment.